Hollywood shines bright with stars, but some are taken far too soon. In this video, we remember three actors whose legacies continue to live on. Devin Harjes, a rising talent known for Boardwalk Empire and Daredevil, left us with performances full of grit and authenticity. Michael Villela, forever remembered as the haunting driller killer from the Slumber Party Massacre, gave horror fans an unforgettable villain. And Loretta Swit, an Emmy-winning legend from May S.H., redefined what women could represent on television. These are the lives and legacies of three remarkable actors we lost. Devin Harjes. Devin Harjes was one of those actors whose face, once seen, was never forgotten. Born in 1985, Harjes grew up with a passion for performance and storytelling. Raised in Texas, his childhood was shaped by a love for cinema and television, where gritty characters and raw performances caught his imagination. That early fascination turned into a career pursuit, and he soon found himself moving toward the world of acting, determined to make a mark in Hollywood. Like many actors, Harjes began with smaller roles, sharpening his craft on stage and in front of the camera. He had a magnetic presence, not the polished glamour of traditional leading men, but a rough-edged authenticity that made him stand out. Casting directors quickly recognized this. His breakthrough came with the acclaimed HBO series Boardwalk Empire, where he played the legendary boxer Jack Dempsey. In the role, Harjes brought an intensity and physicality that captured the essence of the real-life fighter, leaving audiences and critics impressed with his talent. His career didn't stop there. Harjes appeared in several popular television series, each time making the most of his screen time. Fans remember his roles in Marvel's Daredevil, Gotham, and Manifest. Though often cast in supporting roles, Harjes had a knack for making those characters memorable, whether as a tough fighter, a criminal, or a conflicted soul. His performances carried an authenticity that resonated with viewers, reminding many that sometimes the supporting players can shine just as brightly as the leads. Behind the scenes, Harjes was known for his humility and dedication to his craft. Colleagues often described him as passionate, hardworking, and deeply committed to bringing truth to his characters. He wasn't motivated by fame or stardom, but by the art of acting itself. That devotion made him respected among peers, even as he continued to work steadily rather than chase celebrity status. Sadly, Harjes's promising career was cut short. In 2025, after a battle with cancer, he passed away at just 39 years old. His death was a shock to many in the industry and among his fans. Although he had not been a household name like some of Hollywood's biggest stars, his performances had left an undeniable impact. He was a rising actor with the potential to achieve much more, and his passing was a painful reminder of how fragile life can be. In remembering Devin Harjes, it's important to celebrate not only the roles he played, but also the way he approached his craft. He was an actor who brought life to every part, whether large or small, and whose dedication shone through in every scene. His work on Boardwalk Empire and other series will continue to remind audiences of his talent, while his story stands as a tribute to the countless actors who pour their hearts into their art without ever seeking the spotlight. Devin Harjes may be gone, but his performances remain, a testament to a career that ended too soon. Michael Villela. Michael Villella's name might not be instantly familiar to everyone, but to fans of cult horror cinema, he is forever remembered for his chilling role in the Slumber Party Massacre, 1982. With just a single film, Villela carved his place in horror history as the infamous driller killer, a villain whose presence became iconic in the slasher genre. Yet beyond that role, Villella's life and career reveal the journey of a performer who committed himself to the craft of acting and whose story deserves to be told. Born in the United States in the late 1940s, Villela discovered an interest in acting relatively early in life. He pursued his craft with determination, studying the art of performance while also working odd jobs to sustain himself in a competitive industry. He was not a Hollywood leading man type. Rather, he was drawn to complex, offbeat roles that allowed him to disappear into his characters. That quality would eventually lead him to the role that defined his career. When the Slumber Party Massacre was released in 1982, few could have predicted it would become a cult classic. Originally written as a parody of slasher films, the movie was shot and marketed as a straightforward horror story. Vilela played Russ Thorne, a deranged murderer armed with a power drill. It was a role that demanded both physical menace and unsettling psychological intensity. Vilela delivered on both fronts, creating a performance that terrified audiences and elevated the film beyond its low-budget limitations. His eerie expressions, body language, and commitment to the character helped cement Russ Thorne as one of the genre's memorable villains. Though Vilela never achieved mainstream stardom, the Slumber Party Massacre gave him a kind of immortality. The movie developed a strong cult following, especially among horror enthusiasts, who appreciated its mix of slasher thrills and feminist subtext. Vilela himself embraced the film's legacy, often attending conventions and meeting fans who celebrated his contribution to the genre. For many, his role was not just a performance, but a defining part of 1980s horror culture. Outside of acting, Vilela maintained a relatively private life. Unlike many performers who chase fame, he lived quietly, focusing on his love for the craft rather than the spotlight. In interviews and appearances, those who met him described him as gracious, approachable, and deeply appreciative of the fans who continued to support his work decades after the film's release. His willingness to engage with audiences kept his legacy alive even as the years passed. In his later years, Vilela remained active in the horror community, keeping ties with the genre that had given him recognition. Sadly, in November 2024, Michael Vilela passed away at the age of 76. His death was mourned by horror fans and industry colleagues alike. While his filmography may not have been extensive, his contribution to cinema was unique. He had taken a role in a small slasher movie and transformed it into something unforgettable. Michael Vilela's story is a reminder that sometimes a single role is enough to create a legacy. For horror fans, his performance as the Driller Killer remains an iconic piece of genre history, one that continues to resonate with new generations of viewers discovering the film. His passing marks the end of a life dedicated to art and performance, but his presence on screen will never be forgotten. Loretta Swit. For millions of viewers around the world, Loretta Swit will always be remembered as Major Margaret Hot Lips Houlihan from the legendary television series MASH. More than just a character, Houlihan was a symbol of resilience, authority, and humanity in the midst of war. Through this role, Swit not only made television history, but also paved the way for stronger, more complex female roles in Hollywood. Born on November 4, 1937, in Passaic, New Jersey, Loretta Swit grew up in a Polish-American household. From an early age, she showed a love for performing and storytelling. After studying acting at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, she began working in theater, honing her craft on stage before transitioning to the screen. Her early years were filled with dedication, persistence, and the pursuit of roles that would allow her to showcase her range as an actress. Swit's big break came in 1972 when she was cast in MASH, the groundbreaking CBS series set during the Korean War. The show quickly became a cultural phenomenon, blending comedy and drama to address the absurdity and tragedy of conflict. As Major Houlihan, Swit initially portrayed a strict, by-the-book nurse, often clashing with the more irreverent characters. But over time, the role evolved into something much deeper. Houlihan became a fully realized character, vulnerable, compassionate, and strong. And Swit's performance earned her critical acclaim. During her 11 seasons on MASH, Swit won 2 Emmy Awards and received multiple nominations. She became one of the most recognizable television stars of her generation. Off-screen, she used her platform to advocate for animal rights, dedicating much of her life to causes that protected and cared for animals. Her activism was as much a part of her legacy as her acting career. Swit also pursued roles beyond MASH, appearing in films and television movies, but it was her portrayal of Houlihan that defined her career. Unlike some actors who struggle with being typecast, Swit embraced the association, proud of the work she had done on a show that touched millions of lives. To this day, MASH remains one of the most beloved series in television history, with its finale drawing an audience of over 100 million viewers, a record that still stands. Even after leaving the spotlight, Sweet continued to make appearances, write, and remain active in charitable causes. She published a book celebrating her love of animals and was a frequent guest at events honoring the legacy of MASH. Her warmth, humor, and humility left a lasting impression on fans and colleagues alike. Loretta Sweet passed away on May 30th, 2025, at the age of 87. Her death marked the end of an era, but her contributions to television and culture remain timeless. She was more than just an actress. She was a pioneer who helped reshape the way women were represented on screen. In remembering Loretta Sweet, we celebrate a career built on talent, dedication, and heart. Her portrayal of Major Houlihan continues to inspire new generations of viewers, while her commitment to compassion both for people and animals ensures her legacy will endure far beyond the screen. The stories of Devin Harjes, Michael Villela, and Loretta Sweet remind us that legacies come in many forms, from breakout roles to cult classics to timeless performances that change television forever. Though their journeys ended, the impact of their work remains, inspiring audiences and shaping the history of film and TV. Thank you for watching as we honored their lives. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that celebrate the stars behind the screen. And if you'd like more, explore our other long-form videos to discover the journeys of Hollywood's unforgettable legends.